When we take all these verses together, these laws that we have in Exodus 22, verse 16, through to 23, verse 9, you'll see that they form a set of instructions to protect the weak and the vulnerable, young women, foreigners, widows, orphans, the poor, anyone who is in need of justice. And the rationale is consistent throughout. Israel's identity as God's redeemed, rescued people means that they must reflect his character, for he is a God of justice and a God of mercy, and therefore their community must reflect the character of God. And of course, this emphasis on justice, it is not isolated to this passage that we're looking at, but throughout the Bible, it appears again and again. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 17 to 18 teaches the same truth. It says, "The Lord your God is not partial and takes no bribe. He executes justice for the fatherless and for the widow, and he loves the foreigner, giving him food and clothing." So that God's greatness is demonstrated in defending those who perhaps cannot defend themselves. And the prophets repeat the same truth. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17 demands that we must learn to do good, that we must seek justice, we must correct oppression, we must bring justice to the fatherless, we must plead the widow's cause. And the Psalms celebrate the saving justice of God. For Psalm 146 declares that the Lord executes justice for the oppressed. He gives food to the hungry. He watches over the foreigner. He upholds the widow and the fatherless. And Micah chapter 6 verse 8 sums up the moral requirement quite succinctly. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Let me say that again. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. And in the New Testament, Jesus himself shows us his compassion for the outcasts of society, the lepers who no one would go near, the widows, the lame, the blind. And in the book of James, we're told this: religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction. So now back to our passage in Exodus chapters 22 and 23, and the verses that we're looking at this evening, they show us God has a heart for justice. Not only for the individual, but for communities, for societies, for nations. The laws listed in these verses teach us that we, people shaped by God's mercy and deliverance, we should likewise reflect the character of God and seek protection for the vulnerable in daily life, in commercial life, in judicial life. These verses are showing us the heart of God, a heart that cries out for justice, a heart that protects the weak and the vulnerable, and a heart that breaks when the strong abuse the weak.